It's been 4 days since I ate that piece of bread, lying in a puddle of water, soaked and cold. My stomach is howling from hunger. The paper box, my home, got destroyed by the wind, and now I search for places in abandoned buildings or under broad trees. But other homeless people had already taken all the good, safe places, so only cold spots are left. Teenage boys or drug addicts who gather in the middle of the night often beat me or throw stones at me. So, with no other choice, I run away to find somewhere else to sleep. As more time passes, more and more bruises cover my skinny, injured body. Today, it is even colder than yesterday. While walking along the street, the hope of finding something to eat slowly fades. My bones are creaking with every step, and my whole body is trembling uncontrollably. Suddenly, I see a little diner, and the delicious smell of warm food flows out of the open doors. Everyone knows that homeless people or beggars aren't allowed to go inside, but my mind is fogged by the smell and warmth coming out of the diner, inviting me to follow them. So I approach it slowly and peek inside. People are carelessly giggling, drinking hot tea, eating various colorful food. One of the tables is empty. Just one plate lays on it. It seems people have just left it and didn't take the leftovers with them. Only half of the bread and 2 slices of ham are on it. No one needs this food. They will throw it out anyway. The thought crosses my mind. The people aren't paying attention to their surroundings, and the waitress doesn't seem to be there. So, the decision of stealing the bread and ham forms in my mind, and I sneak inside. It's just a leftover, but now this simple food looks like a royal meal for me. An ear-splitting noise stops me from grabbing the bread. "Go away, you dirty man!" a lady screams at me. She seems to be a cleaner as she's holding a bucket of water to clean the dishes. Stepping back, I look at her with pitiful eyes, but she stares at me with disgust. Everyone in the diner has turned their heads toward me, their features twisted with revulsion. The hatred in their eyes makes my skin crawl. They don't want to be near me, and can't wait to kick me out. I step back again to leave when the cleaner lady spreads her hands and turns the bucket over my head. The cold water splashes down on me, and the freeze spreads into my veins. My clothes are drenched, and the water drops are dripping down on the floor. Quickly turning around, I run out of the diner. The air immediately hits my wet skin, and it feels like I will turn into a block of ice. Tears start rolling out of my eyes. Why did she have to do it? Questions fill my mind. I was going to leave. One of the trees across the street has wide branches. Sitting under it, I look up at the tree, damp, old, and sick, just like me. The evening is slowly putting a dark blanket over the town. Tonight will be unbearable. The terror arrives. As it gets darker, it gets colder. My strength has faded completely, hindering me from finding a warmer place to spend the night. Suddenly, footsteps pierce the silence. A young girl appears, strolling down the street. She's wearing a long coat and she's humming, swinging her bag back and forth. I stare at her blankly and she sees me, too. "Hello," she says, and draws closer to me with a genuine smile. "Are you cold?" she asks. "Are you hungry?" "Yeah, very cold and hungry." Quiet mumbles leave my mouth. She looks at me with wide, sparkling eyes and sits next to me. Suddenly, she takes her coat off. "Here, take this," the girl says and hands the coat to me. No. I shake my head. "Why not?" It's old and I have a new one anyway, the girl smiles. And I'm also wearing a sweater. Looking at me hesitate, she adds, "Please take it. I was going to give it to a shelter." Looking at the furry coat that seems like the warmest clothing on earth, I finally give in and throw it on my shoulders. The trembling in my body slowly dies down. The girl takes a loaf of bread out of her bag. "It's just bread, but it's better than nothing, right?" she says, and splits the bread in half. "Half of it is yours," she says, and puts the bread in front of me. "Half of it, mine." She bites the bread and chews it with a smile, as if she has never eaten something so delicious. She's not hungry, but she doesn't want me to feel isolated. She's trying to make me feel welcomed. And it works. I, too, bite the bread. It's just a cheap, white bread, but somehow it tastes so good. The dark sets in, and we keep eating together. And for the first time in years, I feel loved. Someone finally understands my pain. "We'll meet tomorrow here, right?" she asks as we finish eating the bread. I nod, and she smiles broadly and walks away, slowly disappearing in the darkness. I know she won't turn her back on me. She will be here. Since that evening, we meet every day for 1 hour, and she brings her or her father's old clothes, also some food that always calms down my hunger. For the first time in my life, I'm not alone.